Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
It is the Friday before Bears-Packers round one in 2025, and this is Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. I'm Dan Bernstein. That is executive producer Matt Abaticola. And really the big news, before we get to what we're doing today, which is Friday Feedback Friday and our top 10 Packers, is the news that came out of the game last night. And we're going to get to this, obviously, when we dive deep on the game in Forward Progress a little later on in the day. But Brian Branch of the Lions is apparently now believed to be out for the season with a torn Achilles. That is enormous. It is huge. Probably their most impactful defensive player outside of Aiden Hutchinson. So that's a major change to the NFC North race from here on in.
Yeah, and then you add that to the Devontae Wyatt injury for the Green Bay Packers, a significant injury in the middle of their defensive line. It just, seems like things are falling in place here and there for the Chicago Bears as they're getting healthier on the other side of it as well, too. And, on a national perspective, it's a lot of people are saying that the Packers should win this game being at Lambeau at home. It's one that I'm really excited to see. The next big test for the Bears. They aced the test, as you put it last week, Dan, against Philadelphia in Philly. Let's see how they show up against Lambeau this weekend, where they're in that game right now at 6.5-point underdogs for this game. But I'm very excited, though, for this game. I'm looking forward to getting that post-game show going. Remember, we'll be on live Forward Progress right after the game ends. So what is that, somewhere around 6:30-ish or so? But we'll start when the game ends and hopefully talk and recap a Bears victory up in Lambeau Field to get them to 10-3 on the year.
We're going to get to your Friday feedback. And first of all, I just want to say it has not taken you long to avail yourself of everything that is offered through our 312 Sports app.
It has not, and some more than others.
Wow. Yeah, so thank you for being quick on the response there. If you have yet to do so, go to the Apple App Store, go to Google Play, download the 312 Sports app, and get rolling. It might be your easiest way to interact with the show, to send us all kinds of feedback, whether the people have sent video, audio, and we're just figuring out how to use this all right now because they kind of said, hey, here you go. And it was like getting a Christmas gift that we were not expecting. And all of a sudden, this thing is absolutely up and running and going. And there's going to be contests, polls, instant reactions, and opportunities for you to win stuff and get stuff. So make sure you have it. I even told my parents. I said, download the app, and I thought I'd have to walk them through it. My dad's like, oh, all right, got it already.
Well, no, your dad's
what?
Technically smarter than you are, so
yeah, I think so.
Technology standpoint,
he's like, oh yeah, I'll go download it right now. Okay, great, all right.
One of our listeners who took full advantage of the audio message opportunity. We thank you for the multiple submissions, and I saw on one of the comments on one of the YouTube shows, he warned us that he was going to take full advantage of being able to use it. And he's like, I'm going to use this until y'all take it away from me. So you're living up to your promise already. So thank you for
You're in charge of that.
I'm not in charge of anything.
Yeah, you are. You're going to be in charge of making all anything. No, I'm putting you in charge of making all those decisions. But it's really interesting to me, and maybe this is talking out of school, but I don't care, that you can tell when you're penetrating a larger audience or word is getting out there, when you can tell from some of the comments that they don't get the bit or they don't know what we're doing and who we are and so it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these guys? Are they real Bears fans? I don't think these people are bearing down. Tell them to bear down. Who are these people? It's so just getting the tone of something that's like, okay, enjoy the ride.
I'm really close to bearing down. I have to finish anchoring down before I can bear down.
Yeah,
I'm almost done anchoring down. Yesterday was almost the final final bit of anchoring down, but I'm not quite done anchoring yet, but I'm going to bear down once I anchor down.
Yeah, when you're telling a podcast that it needs to bear down. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the feedback, and it's much appreciated. But when you start scrolling through some of this stuff and you get these quizzical, like, oh, welcome, enjoy.
Yes, thank you for the feedback, and it is exactly that. It's feedback.
It might take you a little while to figure out exactly what's going on here, but that's okay. I think other people within the comments there's a lot of self-policing that's going on. There are a lot of people who are willing to sort of raise an eyebrow or explain things, and that's been fun. Now, we had a bit of a technical problem last week when it came to Friday Feedback Friday.
Yeah, you had like a power surge.
Yeah, I did. And it wasn't in my house either. It was just me personally. I surged with power and it threw everything off. It happens every once in a while. It's like a hot flash, except it's power. Power arm, activate. But there was one that I saved from last week because it's just too good. And I think this
is it the one I asked you to save?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Good.
So
this needed to be shared with the world.
I'm going to start with this. And it came off of our discussion of holiday pies, whether it was for Thanksgiving or around Christmas, and the comfort food of pumpkin pie and pecan pie and Dutch apple and sweet potato pies. This was sent in by Sheriff Scabs, longtime name. And he said, my friend Ian Carmel, he's known as a comedian and author. He's a former co-host of the Late Late Show with James Corden, and he told me this pie-centric story that I wanted to share with you. So my friend Ian was hired by Nikki Glazer to write for her weekly segment after Thursday Night Football last season. And it's mid-November, and the show's crew was in Philly for Commanders-Eagles. One of the producers had a brother who owns a pie shop in Lake Placid, New York. Okay, that's important, so remember that. And in the spirit of the holiday, my brother, or that brother, made a trip to visit his at work and brought an abundant amount of freshly baked pies for the writer's room. All these pies from Lake Placid. And they're having pre-show meetings. And famed chef David Chang was also visiting, and he heard there was pie to be had, invites himself to a helping while commingling with the baker and the Thursday Night Football writers. And shortly thereafter, Chang greets Ryan Fitzpatrick and Richard Sherman, who notices Chang enjoy the dessert, and they invite themselves for a few slices. So they grab theirs. Someone else notices, and the process repeats. And before long, the entire crew shows up for pie. And word spreads all the way to Al Michaels, who also wants on in. So the room is packed, and Al Michaels doesn't seem to want to socialize with the more boisterous personalities. So he takes a portion of a pie, and he steps over to where the writers are huddled in some dark, introverted corner of the room. And the producer's brother, starstruck, nervously pipes up and starts a casual conversation with Al Michaels, saying, yeah, so I own the pie shop where all these pies came from. And it's in Lake Placid, New York. I don't suppose you've ever been there before. Which would be a completely legitimate question to almost anyone on earth other than Al fucking Michaels, who arguably has the most iconic single call in the history of sports broadcasting, famously taking place at the Olympics in Lake Placid.
That's so good.
So Michaels smirked and said, yeah, I've heard of it, reacting as if the baker was being sarcastic, even though he was completely serious. Michaels took a bite, made an approving nod toward the baker as if to non-verbally say, damn good pie, and walked out of the room while everyone else within earshot of the brief encounter let the baker know what an idiot he was.
It's so good.
I don't suppose you've heard of Lake Placid, Al Michaels.
Like, what a huge moment for this guy in his pie shop. Like, David Chang, one of the most well-known chefs in the world, is there eating your pie. And who knows what could have come out of that. And it ends with asking Al Michaels if he's ever heard of Lake Placid. It's so good.
Now, I think we set a Friday Feedback Friday record for response to a nickname for the Bears offensive line and or the interior of the offensive line. And so I can't read everything, but we were trying to settle on an agreed upon compromise nickname. It's just not the way to do it. So I'm just going to read the funniest thing that I saw that took, I think, a lot of creativity. And this was sent in by Cam in Bridgeport, who says, I am thinking of the Bears offensive line as a band, specifically a boy band. And I want to introduce to you the Block Street Boys.
This was a good one.
It's late 90s, early 2000s. The Block Street Boys, a boy band bubblegum pop, crossed with accidental death metal growling. Here are the members. Theo the Heartthrob Benedette. He has him here instead of Ozzy Trapillo at the moment. Left tackle, lead vocals, the pretty one with the flowing locks. Cheekbones sharp enough to slice open Amazon packages. Eyes that say, I'll protect your blind side. He's Canadian, so he's aggressively polite. He starts every song with a soft, sorry, eh? And quietly apologizes to the microphone after every song. Next to him is Joe the Old Soul Tooney, left guard, deep harmonies and dad vibes. The veteran who's been in the league since the Obama administration, wears reading glasses on stage, and gives relationship advice between songs like, son, if she don't block for you, she ain't the one. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, uses them as wedding ring props during the ballad portions. He's the only member who actually understands how royalties work. Next to him, Drew the Cute One Dahlman, the center, who also does the beatboxing and the high notes. The baby-faced snapper looks like he's 19. He's actually 28 and married with 3 kids. His tour rider demands goldfish crackers, the multicolored ones only, Uncrustables cut into perfect triangles, and chocolate milk. Number 4, Jonah the Heartbreaker Jackson. Right guard and designated shirt ripper and certified panty dropper.
Oh, boy.
His arms are sleeved. Looks like he was carved. Neck tat that just says taxes because even the IRS is scared to audit him. Walks on stage like he already slept with your girlfriend and feels kind of bad about it, but not really. His solo move is ripping his mesh jersey clean off mid-chorus and then tossing the sweaty shreds into the crowd while growling, "Who wants seconds?" Grown women faint. Grown men reconsider their life choices. Security has a dedicated Jonah debris trash bag. He's dated 3 Victoria's Secret angels, 2 pop stars, and 1 very confused Uber Eats driver. All of them still text him at 3 a.m., and he responds to none. Has a burner phone just for apologies he never sends. His catchphrase, delivered with a smirk, "I don't break hearts, baby. I pancake 'em." And next to him, Darnell the Shy One right tackle, bass voice, and brooding songwriter, the 6'5", 330-pound poet who writes all their lyrics on the back of play call sheets, never speaks in interviews, just stares intensely until the reporter apologizes and leaves. His love songs are titled like, "I Want to Protect You Forever." Girls faint when he whispers into the mic. And those are the Block Street Boys.
That's really good. That was very creative. And probably took a very long time to put together. So nice.
That's what we're getting.
It made me think of something I saw the other day online. It was a picture of Prince, and it said Prince was the only guy who could show up at your party in frills, steal your girlfriend, then steal her clothes, then steal someone else's girl in your girlfriend's clothes.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. I saw it online. It started floating around with memes.
Oh, that's
so good though. Could show up in frills, steal your girl, then steal her clothes, then steal someone else's girl in your girlfriend's clothes. It's so funny.
That is so good.
Yeah. And true.
Andrew writes and says, I was having a conversation with a Bears fan who said he thought that the Bears would probably lose to the Packers this week. I asked him what he was basing that on, and the answer was not based in the reality of coaching or schemes or matchups. It was based on the odds of X consecutive wins. And I think that this fan is just not willing to be burned by this team. And it reminded me of Matt, what you've been saying for the last few weeks. Why not the Bears? And Dan, what you've been saying, and that is have fun. I've been heartened by the mental health talk on the show. And one of the things that I've gleaned on my journey is that mental health professionals speak a language that I had to learn before I could begin to heal. And in this Bears discussion, Matt, what I hear you saying is be vulnerable. And Dan, what I hear you saying is be present. Both sentiments, no matter how you state them, can open a larger aperture of enjoyment for this season. That's a really
that's really
interesting.
Really well thought out and well said. Yeah, I like that. Be vulnerable with it. Don't be afraid to be heartbroken again. Let yourself open up to the possibility. I like that. That's good. I'm there. I'm ready to go. And we'll talk more about the game. We'll talk more about the game coming up.
Kevin in Jefferson Park says, I've been reflecting on Ben Johnson's shirt launch that earned the city free hot dogs at the bulwark of democracy that is the Wieners Circle, and what the recent batch of Bears coaches would have done similarly in such a situation. For example, Matt Eberflus gets completely confused and takes his pants off instead.
Oh, boy.
Matt Nagy makes a deconstructed hot dog that immediately falls apart. John Fox begins to take off his polo shirt and then falls asleep. Mark Trestman gives away hamburgers and was for some reason already pantsless. He says, thanks for the great shows. I look forward to this new game, Are You Faster Than Andrew Billings, where Matt reads off people/animals/farm equipment, and Dan has to guess whether or not they can beat Andrew Billings' 40 time. Not 40 hands time, mind you. Different segment altogether. Kevin, thank you for that. Much appreciated. And by the way, I want to say too, just because there's so many submissions that are coming in now, and that's a great thing. Mm-hmm. Don't feel bad if I don't end up presenting, or we don't end up presenting one of these things for Friday Feedback Friday.
Keep sending.
Just keep sending because it's fun. I really enjoy it, and it's always interesting to me to see what sparks the most creativity or sparks the most impassioned or inspired thoughts here. So our discussion about the Pavia family, the flying Pavias.
Yes.
We've
the
got
Pavia gang.
The Pavia. Well, I don't want to use the. Well, I guess you can. If they're getting arrested and thrown in jail for being drunk and disorderly, what is it? It's Javier, and is it Raul or?
I think Raul's correct.
Ramon. I think that's wrong, but and Diego saying that it's like Grand Theft Auto. So I said, can it really be like that? Well, Zach says, I moved from Aurora to Rio Rancho, New Mexico, a little over 5 years ago. Rio Rancho borders Albuquerque to the north. It's a growing city. And I heard you guys talking about the dumbass Pavia clan and how they said Albuquerque is like Grand Theft Auto. While it's not entirely lawless like the video game where people beat prostitutes with a bat, it does have its problems. First off, I've never seen so many cars without license plates in my life. Homelessness, rampant drug use, and car thefts are just a few of the big issues the city's dealing with daily. Street racing is a huge underground event. The city has tried various ways to put a stop to street racing, like building an actual drag strip. Also, dogfighting rings and cockfighting have been a thing in the South Valley of Albuquerque. Road rage incidents happen all the time. When we first moved here, my wife told me she was told to not beep your horn when a light turns green and the person just sits there. Locals who have lived here their whole lives refer to themselves as Burqueños, and they take some sort of pride in the stupidity that goes on in the city by saying, that's Albuquerque. They have a mentality that they're big and bad and nobody should mess with them. For the most part, none of them have ever left Albuquerque or New Mexico. I understand what he means when he comps this city to GTA, because sometimes certain parts of the city seem dirty and lawless. I've told my daughter numerous times there's certain parts of the city she shouldn't be in after dark, and New Mexicans are a prideful group. I haven't heard any negative things said about his statement yet, but I'm sure some people won't be happy. And when I moved here, I remember hearing Pavia's name mentioned because he led the New Mexico Military Institute to a junior college championship, and he then transferred to New Mexico State. And he got into some trouble years ago because he was caught on camera pissing on the New Mexico Lobos practice field logo because he was upset he wasn't recruited by UNM. That's your guy. That's your dude.
So I guess it sounds like a pretty bad place.
Doesn't it?
Jesus.
I'm glad we were only on the tarmac.
Yeah, for sure. So they want to curb the amount of street racing. So they built like a drag strip, and people are like, "Fuck that! We're gonna keep doing underground drag racing."
Yeah, I think the point was like if people were, it's sort of like if people are using the streets to play underground tennis, you want to probably build tennis courts, right?
Right. Yeah.
Give them a place to say,
sounds
hey,
very generous to build a drag strip. You should take advantage of it.
I don't think it's that hard, but they build say, here, you want a drag race? Here you go. Here's your drag strip.
Here's the photo I want to share with you from part of our feedback here.
Yes.
Our Reddit community that is well and live and growing.
I didn't know we had one.
Yeah. It's something that our guy Schmutzy set up for us, and
Okay.
he monitors that, and I'll check in occasionally on it. But someone sent a photo. Remember the other day when I was talking about how large my hands looked drinking those small cans? And I
Yes.
said, does it look like? So someone put this photo together. I'll just share it with you here up on the screen. So that is actually Andre the
that
Giant
real?
holding a can of beer. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your hand. It just happens to be the same color, your hand, and then Andre the Giant's hand. Okay, I got it now. That's green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Molson Canadian?
I don't know what it is.
I think it is. Good for Andre. Well, I wonder where that was. That reminds me of fishing right there.
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah, it's Molson Canadian. Yeah, that's that. Oh, that tastes like shore lunch, man.
But that's a regular can.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
He's
that's insane.
He's kind of he's a big guy. He was in our top 10 Giants.
So thanks for sharing that photo. Appreciate that.
We also discussed the idea of clinging to old football traditions when it comes especially to college fandoms and how insane college fandoms are. I said you guys discussed this Tuesday, and I think they're closely related to each other. Your discussion of old-fashioned fan loyalty to college football is right on. The sport has evolved drastically and quickly. There's a lot of fans who've refused to evolve with it. And the loyalty to good old state comes from an era when a football national championship didn't matter very much, depending on what part of the country you were from. The thing you rooted for was your team winning the Rose Bowl or the Cotton Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, or depending on what state you were from, you might only care about the Iron Bowl or the Civil War or the old oaken bucket or one of several of Paul Bunyan's axes. And after that was over...
Wait a second. I'm sorry. The Civil War, is that do you mean like the actual Civil War, or is it a...
No, I
game?
forgot which game that was.
I didn't even know that was a game. All right.
I don't know if is that Illinois, Missouri, or is that...
I don't know. I'll take a look.
Rights?
But I want to let people know down south, the Civil War is over, just so y'all know.
That's a war between the states.
Yeah,
That's,
just let you, that one's done.
We'll rise again.
Yeah.
After whatever it was over, if the writers voted your team the best in the country, that was cool. Yeah, it also meant you rooted for like one of 6 or 7 teams. But none of that mattered if your team lost the big game. The same mentality applies to the earlier discussion of the I don't care if the Bears go 2-15 as long as those 2 are against the Packers fans. That kind of thinking comes from the same era, when NFL championships were nice, but it wasn't the most important, and it applies to the early Super Bowl era. I'm not old enough to remember when the Bears were winning NFL championships, but my theory is that while those were cool and fun, it was the Packers games that you really got up for. And yes, I'm pinning this all on baby boomers. They were burgeoning football fans in the era I'm talking about. They're the ones who care about the games against the Packers or the Rose Bowl or whatever, and some of them pass that down to their kids. Those 2 fan mentalities that you discussed Tuesday are rooted in the 50s and the 60s by people who refused to move on from how they felt as kids.
I like it. All right, you'll never get this right. I would have never guessed that these are the 2 schools involved in the Civil War football game.
All right, the Civil War football game is... I'm not even going to guess.
Would have never guessed.
Okay.
The Oregon Ducks and the Oregon State Beavers.
The Beavers?
The Beavers and the Ducks.
That's the Civil War?
That doesn't seem right, right?
No, it doesn't seem really worth it.
No, it doesn't. It'd be like, all right, you go. You're good. The ducks and the beavers, like, does that? Ooh, what a war! The ducks and the beavers.
I guess if you live in the Palouse.
I'm gonna stop them from swimming down my stream. Damn it! I'm gonna block them off.
What a war. Okay.
All right, we're gonna fly over your dam. Ooh, what a war!
Today I learned.
Yeah.
Here is this is
That was
Cole.
a letdown, wasn't it? Very underwhelming.
Completely. Cole in Chattanooga says, after listening to your review of the distillation of vanilla cream witch's brew Halloween Kit Kat, I want to ensure other hobbyists of discounted food items are warned from a past experience of yours that I remember. Matt wasn't with the score when you encountered what I remember to be a discount green-tinted Italian beef in an opaque tub.
Ooh.
I remember that everyone in your house refused to eat it, and you did, and you found it to not be to your standards of discounted items. He's right. I did.
Green meat. You ate green meat?
Well, I think I don't remember. I think it was kind of gray. He said, I've used that guidance to only purchase discount items at grocery stores that I can actually see. For example, how gray the meat is or how broken down the bakery item may be. I feel this would be a great public service announcement and a cautionary tale for those venturing into the world of discount food items. Yeah, it's a great world, especially in this current world in which we're living. I bought Shake and Bake yesterday.
Okay.
It's $5. It's $5 for a package of Shake and Bake. Regular craft pork Shake and Bake. Nothing spectacular, not a family size. And then what pisses you off even more, remember they used to include that really good plastic bag?
Oh, yeah, no, we've talked about this. They don't have the bag anymore.
But not only do they not have the bag, they actually had the audacity to print on the box, now with no plastic bag, better for the environment.
Mm.
So how am I supposed to shake the pork chops in a way that's good for the environment? Just throw breadcrumbs in the air and run around with the pork chop?
Well,
seriously? What am I supposed to find a giant pine box just for shaking?
No, maybe use like a large Tupperware and put it in, seal it, and shake the Tupperware up, and that way you can wash the Tupperware, and you're being better for the environment, Dan. Or do you still use jewel bags?
I use whatever I got. I had a leftover bagel freezer bag from New York Bagel and Bialy because I love those freezer bags. So now I'll get extras and I'll save them and I'll use them for Shake and Bake.
I don't understand why you just don't designate like 1 gallon Ziploc bag.
That's only the Shake and Bake bag?
Yeah, and then rinse it out and then save it somewhere.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Not a bad idea. It just pisses me off that it's cheaper for them. Like, oh, well, this is better for the environment.
So is $5 cheap? Is that what you're saying?
No!
Oh, it's expensive. Okay.
Are you kidding? For breadcrumbs?
I've never bought Shake and Bake
And then
before.
they say 1 bag is for 8 pork chops. In what world? Pork chops this big?
How many
Tiny
pork
medallions?
Chops? What do you get? Like 2 out of it? 2 out of it?
Two.
Okay. I thought all the grocery prices were coming down. I didn't know it'd be so expensive.
Oh, it's insane. That's why I'm buying all the discounted stuff. It's completely insane. Here's a thought when we were talking about some of the college football stuff. This is from James, and James says,
"What up, James?
You guys referred to college football as being weird. I agree. College football is now more about season to season, given how players are rightfully allowed to move around, and gone are the days of seeing a player grow up with your team. Here's what I would love. The Big Ten, the SEC, expand to 20 teams each. In both basketball and football, let's do a relegation system of 2 divisions within each conference. As a Boilermaker, I'm in college football hell. We're not competitive in football. Our decent players are lost to top-tier programs. Were we to play in a second tier of the Big Ten in football, we could field a competitive team in that tier. Given that system, teams would play the 9 teams in their tier, bottom 2 in tier 1, drop to the second, top 2 in the second tier, move up. I'm fine with maintaining the rivalry games as non-conference matchups. Championship games are 1 versus 2, or ditch the championship game altogether for I care. A tiered system would allow the Boilermakers, for example, to have a truly competitive and must-watch game-to-game in Big Ten basketball play, as Purdue would be in the top tier. Whether there's financial incentive for each tier would remain to be seen. I want to enjoy Purdue football again. Frankly, money aside, were Purdue to announce they were going to D3, I'd be all for it if it meant the insanity of meaningless football seasons would end. Well, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. I do like the idea of relegation, though, and I'd love to see that in Major League Baseball. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, you can't. I mean, as we've discussed many times, the relegation system is great, but because it was created organically in the way that it was, I don't think you can impose a relegation system here just because of how much money that you have in the pool and what you would do for like secondary television deals, because the television is so important to everything.
Yeah, I know. I think you could do it. You just take the 2 worst teams in baseball, put them in AAA, and drop up 2 teams from AAA, and that's it.
I wish it were that easy.
Oh. It's all going to be solved once they have a salary cap in baseball.
Of course. Oh, yes. They'll tell you that'll solve everything.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah, because you see Rob Manfred is putting together this fan council.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be on it. And then I'm actually up next for the Secretary of War.
Okay.
The coordinator.
The coordinator, I think, is what you're going to call yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have a hat that just says war on it?
War and Beer.
Okay. War and Beer. That was Tolstoy's sequel to War and Peace.
Yeah, it was a forward by Ramon Pavia.
They asked him, Leo, we need another book out of you. You got another in you? That's it. I wrote Anna Karenina, and I did it. No. War and something, because we got to feed the beast here. I'm getting called out by this. This came in through the app, actually, and this was Jason, who said, Dan, you were talking about being referred to as a loud flosser by your wife, and then you said that you brush and you then floss. Every dentist, hygienist, and person who's ever white-knuckled a cleaning would like you to know it's backwards. Think of it this way. If you're flossing after brushing, that's like vacuuming your living room after you've shampooed the carpet. The job gets done, but now the universe is judging your life choices. The ADA insists the order doesn't matter, which is adorable, because of course they'd say that. That keeps Big Fluoride happy. The only correct sequence is simple. Floss, then brush. Otherwise, you're rearranging debris like a coach shuffling the depth chart during a preseason game. I say this with respect, affection, and a sincere desire to keep your listeners from showing up to their next checkup looking like they followed your advice.
Wow, that was harsh.
It is, because at my dentist...
My dentist,
wherever I go, I know he goes.
Well, that's weird. Like Mariano's getting cheap meat and the dentist is behind you.
Dentist, don't eat that. So at when I get a cleaning, they do the polishing with the gritty stuff. And Gritty actually comes out. Actually, the Flyers mascot actually comes in and cleans my teeth, and then they floss, and then they do the floss. Yeah. And then they hit the. They do, yeah, but they do the flossing after. So are they wrong? Should they floss first and then do the polishing?
I think here's the thing, and I'm sure that emailer or whatever came through was correct. I'm sure he's right. I'm not going to argue or debate that, but. Whatever order you want to go, I would say just make sure you do both. Well, just make sure you're doing both.
Obviously.
That's all. Yeah. Well, no, not obviously. The people, like, have you seen people's teeth?
Yes.
Yeah. So just take care of them. Do both. Use mouthwash too.
It is, yes, absolutely. You may have a difficult time finding a personal gift for someone to whom you are close in the gift-giving time. And I'm telling you, now that we have one of these Aura frames, it is so easy to do, and it's actually fun to think about, because when you gift an Aura frame, you can choose what digital picture is going to be on there. And it makes it look like you planned the entire thing all along, even if it's last minute, and especially with the deal you're going to get here. With the Aura frame, There are unlimited free photos and video that you can place on there. Just download the Aura app, you connect it to Wi-Fi, and then you can preload the photos before it ships. You can personalize the gift with a message. So whatever you think that person may want, whether it's a picture of the grandkids, a picture of a pet, maybe it's a picture of, and the surprise is a great time that you had with a friend. Maybe it's your picture of your rafting trip and you just got down the rapids and they open it up and there it is, the picture right on there. And then there are photos that can be shared effortlessly right from the phone. And every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box, no price tag. The gift box is included. And here's what's key. For a limited time right now, you can save on this perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using the promo code DBU at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code DBU. The deal is exclusive to listeners. These frames sell out fast. So if you want to do this, order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. And you can support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. But the Aura frame, available to you with $35 off, is by going to auraframes.com with the promo code DBU.
Yeah, the Aura frame is great. Seriously, check it out. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really, really happy that we have it. Love putting up all the new photos too, and then you could take a photo a day and just add it, and you could just have millions and millions on there. So go after it.
I'm trying to find the.
Or you could put up pictures. I started putting pictures of you holding fish.
That's what I want to do. Just
on
because
our Aura frame.
I'm still embargoed from sending at least. Jason likes them, but Beth and Zoe just are not interested in fish that I catch. So I was thinking.
That's so weird. I can't believe they're not.
Right?
It surprises me.
I was thinking, what? Just because one ruined our lives for a while?
I'm sorry, you're not triggered by
Yeah,
that?
what the hell is wrong with
already,
you? Yeah,
ladies.
right. Seriously, get over it.
Wow.
Here is one from, this is Buddy in Rockford. I love this. We finally have our answer to the age-old question, what does Nishan Wright have to do to get a game ball? But if you'll allow me to expand on the concept of giving game shovels to members of the Bears administration, a shovel should go out to somebody that Wright made a point of mentioning personally, and that is Ryan Poles. So let's do a time travel exercise here. It's 2022. Poles is signed in January. And while those initial signings left much to be desired, he then drafted Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. In 2023, he pantses Carolina. In exchange for the first overall pick, Bryce Young, the Bears get DJ Moore, along with draft capital that is now turned into Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, and Luther, the young receiver. In 2024, in the offseason, he acquires Kevin Byard and DeAndre Swift. In addition to Caleb Williams, he drafts Roma Dunze, Torrey Taylor, and Austin Booker. He trades Khalil Herbert to Cincinnati for a 7th-round pick that ultimately becomes Kyle Monangai.
Yeah.
In 2025, he remodels the offensive line by acquiring Joe, great at going out to dinner, Tooney, Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson, while adding Grady Jarrett and the aforementioned Nishan Wright. In addition to Burden and Monangai, he drafts Colston Loveland and Ozzie Trapillo. And then finally, with our backs increasingly against the wall due to injuries, he signs C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Good luck finding a player among those I just mentioned who hasn't been integral to the success. We can't ignore the fact that Ben Johnson, no doubt, has wielded significant influence over the 2025 draft picks, nor can we understate how players have developed under the tutelage of his staff. We can't ignore that several acquisitions were chosen specifically because of their ties to our staff, like Gardner Johnson and Jackson. But Poles deserves a tremendous amount of credit. His fingerprints are all over this. We, for the time being, have taken the North and are at least threatening to never give it back. That's good.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, can't argue any of that. That's good stuff.
That is Buddy from Rockford. And I want to close this out with a thought from our old friend Pete, who says...
Exif.
No, it's not. It's on a drunken Pete Hegseth trying to blow us up and then making jokes about it, or murdering people and then going on Twitter to brag about it. No,
I wasn't even there for it. Don't worry.
wait, he left.
Yeah.
I have to see that.
It's hard to see all the fog of war.
Yeah. Hey, fog of war, not literal. Not literal.
Yeah, it's called smoke.
Yeah, that's what fog of war means. Confusion. It doesn't actually mean fog in war. I still can't get over that. This is Pete. He says, "Guys, I am one of those with the irrational college football fandom.
Oh boy.
I have Illini gear. I have an Illini football helmet snack bowl.
Yes.
I am 3 years past Medicare eligibility, and I still care way too much about a program at a school I left behind in 1982. I don't feel the same way about Illini basketball. I always used to care about both equally, but I can't do hoops. I think it has to do with the anonymity of football, where I don't feel like I have to get to know the influx of new players each year to enjoy the game, like I do with college basketball. To steal from Jerry Seinfeld, I'm cheering for headgear. Okay. I think the self-awareness is important.
It is good.
And I hope that makes you fun. And thank you for everybody, once again, who has contributed this week and the one holdover from last week to Friday Feedback Friday that is only going to be re-energized or further energized by the 312 Sports app.
Yeah, the one about Al Michaels, that's right up there for me at the top of the list, along with the review of the Baja Blast Thanksgiving pie.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two special entries into our Friday Feedback Friday. So thank you for those.
If you need windows, you know where to go. Don't wait on this, and you probably do need windows because you're cold right now. And you say, "Well, the heat's on. I keep hearing it come on. Why am I cold?" Well, you're cold because the windows are bad. So get good windows. I don't know how to do that. Well, how about this? Call Russ Armstrong. Russ is the owner of Chicago Window Guys, and he will make windows at his factory here in Chicago, and then his people will put them in your house. It doesn't really get easier than that. And the most important thing is he'll give you the best deal. He's got a price match guarantee. And I know that you're tempted when you hear all this stuff about buy one, get one free, or 50% off this or that. Russ is just going to give you the best product guaranteed at the best price. And there's no subcontracted labor. So everybody installing the windows works directly for Russ. He knows all of them. Call Russ, 847-302-9171, and check out his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com. He's finishing up making some more windows for us. He's going to be putting them in, and you're going to get the same deal that he's given everybody to whom I've recommended Russ. And that means coworkers, friends, neighbors. I've recommended him to everybody. And it just saves you a lot of the hassle of dealing with somebody you don't know or dealing with somebody who isn't responsive. Russ is super responsive, and his people are great. So, and when you're getting quotes, ask the other sales reps who's installing your windows, and they don't know because they use subcontracted labor. Russ can tell you the names and probably the names of the kids of the people who were installing your windows. So give him a call, 847-302-9171, and check out chicagowindowguys.com. Is it that time?
I think it is that time. Are you ready?
Hold on, let me get my.
Hold on. That's why I asked you.
I know.
Asked if you're ready.
Well, because the committee's gonna go first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We always go first.
Okay. All right.
Committee.
Hold on. Okay.
All right. So let me pull this out here. The committee gave me this list this morning. Let me get the first thing up.
Oh,
here.
they just came up with this. They've been working all night on the top 10 Packers.
Yeah, they've been working on this because this is this was a really, really broad scope of things when it comes to Packers. So took a lot of liberties here in creating the top 10 list, along with some honorable mentions that we'll get through as we go along.
And let's just mention, if you're new to DBU or to 312 Sports, that we've been doing this each week where we have looked at the Bears' opponent and then we break down the top 10 of the opponent's name. And this week it's the Green Bay Packers. So these are the actual top 10 Packers. We have the committee that lives at Matt's house, and then we have mine.
All right, so here we're going to start with one honorable mention, and there's some others as we go through the list itself. But the first honorable mention originally came from ConAgra, now owned. I can remember what company it was, but the pudding snack packs. Remember the pudding snack packs?
Oh yeah.
So that gets an honorable mention for us. The pudding snack packs. Maybe I have it reversed. Maybe it is ConAgra that still has it now, but I'll take a look at it. I think it is ConAgra. It was originally Hunt's, which is then owned now by ConAgra. So the pudding snack pack gets a mention of honorable mentions.
I remember I used to take those in my school lunchbox when they were still the aluminum can.
Oh, seriously? What flavor? Did you always have?
Chocolate.
Okay, always chocolate. I always did vanilla.
Occasionally vanilla, but it was usually chocolate. But yeah, I loved it.
I was more of a vanilla guy when I was a kid. I wasn't a big chocolate ice cream or chocolate pudding. I always liked vanilla.
I was too, but for some reason with the snack pack.
God, that brought memories too with the aluminum can. I totally forgot about that until you just said that. That's great.
Oh yeah.
All right, number 10 on the list here, packing tape. Packing tape. If you've ever moved or had to help people move or pack a box, packing tape. It's great stuff. So number 10 on the top 10 Packers of all time. Number 10, packing tape. Number 9 is the backpack. The backpack. The original or the oldest backpack ever discovered? I don't know if you know this. Have you heard of? I'm sure you've heard of this because you read everything. Otzi, Otzi the Iceman. Like his remains were found, obviously in ice, fossilized. Otzi the Iceman.
I didn't know he had a name.
Yeah, he had a name. So he had a backpack on him, and that dates back to 3300 BC.
Otzi the Iceman. He had a backpack?
He had a backpack on him. So that's the oldest.
Was it a Jansport?
I don't know what it was. He was on his way to school. Yeah. Make me laugh.
Or what's the other one that everybody wears? It's like a Scandinavian one.
Wait, is it Jansport or Jansport?
I don't know. Yeah, I always call it.
I think it's Jans.
I call it Jansport because it's Jan and it's very sportsy. And what's the other one? Something Fallen, Carva Fallen or something?
I have no idea. Our kids wear Nike. They use Nike ones. I got all these.
I got all these baseball backpacks. If you have a kid in travel baseball, and every year you got to buy another one of these. Hold on, let me get it. It's right here. I use it for weightlifting now.
Oh boy, he's something special, folks. I'll tell you that.
I put weights in it, but wait
a second.
Every single year. Every single year, you have to get one of these.
Then what do you do with so you put weights in it, then what with it?
When I do Bulgarian split squats, holding 30 pounds in each hand, I have these two. It's because of COVID. I needed to recreate my gym workout.
Okay.
So I didn't have 30-pound dumbbells, so I have to put a 20 and a 10 in two backpacks, and then I use them as the weights for my Bulgarian
so you don't wear
squats.
them. You hold them.
No, I do wear this, and then I put even more weight in it for toe raises on the stairs.
It would be similar to a weighted vest.
Well, but I'm literally doing lifting. I'm not running around. I'm lifting the weight.
Okay. All right.
I think a weighted vest for toe raises would actually work. It's weight training.
Okay, you just think the weighted vest while walking isn't doing anything.
Well, we know that you don't burn more calories with it. If you're doing it to burn calories, it's different than trying to build muscle. You want to put a weighted vest on and do push-ups? That's good. But yeah, I've got 15 of these because we had to buy a new one every year.
Oh, that's Wells Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always, you're mandatory. Got to get your new backpack. Well, the old
one's we don't get a new one every year. We've had one for LYB, and now that we're in Slammers, we just get one for Slammers now. I'm not. There's no shot buying one every year. It's insane.
Oh God, it was just whatever travel team is, they make you buy a new one.
All right, so the backpack checks in at checks in at number 9. Everyone loves a good backpack. Honorable mention there, also the fanny pack. The fanny pack, it's an honorable mention, although mostly used by douchebags. Number 8. Number 8, and let me pull this up here so I have the information with me. Number 8 is the cameo by the Green Bay Packers in Pitch Perfect 2. Pitch Perfect 2. Do you remember that?
Yeah, bad movie. Pitch Perfect 1 is awesome, but Yes, I do remember it.
So 5 Packers players made a cameo in the 2015 film. It was, obviously with Anna Kendrick, Rebel Wilson. The Packers that were featured were Clay Matthews, David Bakhtiari, Don Barkley, Josh Sitton, and T.J. Lang. They sang a version of Bootylicious during the riff-off, but Matthews blanks out when presented with a second category. So I thought that was really funny to see them in there in that riff-off, which I still enjoyed Pitch Perfect 2. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was enjoyable.
3 is horrendous. 3's unwatchable.
There haven't been more past 3, right? Because I think 3 is the worst one.
No,
I thought 2 was fine.
Bad. No, it's
bad. The first one was really good.
Yeah,
really
because
good.
Elizabeth Banks didn't direct it.
And yeah, I thought it was great. So the number 8, the cameo by the Packers players in Pitch Perfect 2 comes in at the number 8 on the all-time 10 Packers top 10. Jesus Christ, Packers of all time. My brain hurts. Number 7, Dan. This might be something up your alley too. I don't know if you know about these. Have you ever heard of the Druid Peak Pack? The Druid Peak Pack, Yellowstone National Park's most famous and largest wolf pack. Formed in the park's reintroduction in 1996, known for its iconic, charismatic members. They actually have, they have all different names and numbers.
And members of Druid Peak Pack, yes.
So they have, they've actually been focused, watched, and studied, and documentaries have been made about them. And apparently people go just to hopefully get a spot, and I don't understand that. Why would you want to go and see a wild wolf pack? And what if they spot you? Then what happens?
Depends how wild they are. Depends if they might be busy, might be easily distracted.
Well, I don't think they're like domesticated wild animals in Yellowstone National Park. Like they get fed. I mean, they eat things and do stuff.
No, they probably eat bison. It's worth it. It's just if they're gonna bother using all of their powers as a pack, they might as well take something down that weighs a ton instead of you.
Well, and if you're like if you're a big and stay
out
of Yellowstone,
watch
that's
out.
what Dan just said. All right, number 7 is the Druid Peak Pack. Number 6. See if you know this off the top of your head, Mr. Football. Mayflower Transit, the moving company. Packing and moving company.
Yes.
Mayflower Transit.
Yes, I believe they packed up Art Modell's Cleveland Browns and took them, or was it the Baltimore Colts?
Yes, and who was the owner?
The Baltimore Colts, Art Modell.
Nope.
Was the no.
You mentioned his daughter on the show several times.
Irsay?
Yeah. The Baltimore Colts and moved him to Indianapolis.
And they moved him to Indianapolis.
Yep.
And it was in the dead of night, was it not?
It was in the cover of night. Yep, that's how good they are at packing and moving.
That's right.
They can do it in the dark. So number 6 checks in Mayflower Transit. Number 5. The Leader of the Pack. The number 1 hit song, 1964, by the Shangri-Las. Shangri-Las checks in. It was their only hit. It did get to number 1 on the Billboard 100. Shangri-La's the only song that anyone knows, Leader of the Pack. Honorable mention here also is Twisted Sister's version of Leader of the Pack. Have you heard it?
No. Dee Snider and the boys knocking out a cover?
They sure did, of Leader of the Pack. And it's super creepy because it reverses the song where it's the girl that drives away and dies in an accident. And not Jimmy, the leader of the pack. Which, by the way, why is Jimmy, the leader of a motorcycle gang, picking up high school girls at the candy shop? Because that's where they met. Met her at the candy shop. Yeah. So, but the Twisted Sister version is they meet a girl at the candy shop, and she drives away after he breaks up with her because his parents said he has to break up with her, and she dies in the crash. So
and then everybody ODs on fentanyl, and they all go to Albuquerque.
Right.
The Pavia
gang. Yes. So, Leader of the Pack, number 5, Twisted Sister gets an honorable mention there also. Number 4. Oh, I got information about this guy, too. Have you ever heard of Gustavus Franklin Swift Sr.?
Nope.
Okay. American business executive. He founded a meatpacking empire in the Midwest during the late 19th century, over which he presided until his death. He's credited with the development of the first practical ice-cooled railroad car, which allowed his company to ship dressed meats to all parts of the country and abroad, ushering in the era, and you would love this, Dan, the era of cheap beef. So you know the Swift company.
When do we get that back?
You know the Swift company, Swift Meats,
Yes.
still active today. You can go online, order meats from them today. He was the founder, and he started this company, Dan. Guess how old he was when he started the Swift Meat Company?
6.
16.
Okay.
Right here in Chicago, Illinois. So Gustavus Franklin Swift Sr. checks in at number 4 on the top 10 Packers of all time. Number 3, the Hangover Wolfpack. So the movie The Hangover, the Wolfpack checks in at number 3. Number 2 is actually right here on my screen as we see it right now. Number 2 is the video game Pac-Man. Pac-Man checks in at number 2. And the number 1 Packer of all time is the Rat Pack, Dan. That, of course, is Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis, Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford. The top 10 Packers of all time, the number 1 pack of all time, the Rat Pack, with an honorable mention going to the Brat Pack as well. If you remember the Brat Pack, that was
Demi
Molly
Moore,
Ringwald,
Rob
Emilio
Lowe.
Estevez, Ali Sheedy, Andrew McCarthy, Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall. But the number 1 Packer of all time, the Rat Pack, Frank, Dean, Sammy, Joey, and Peter.
Let the record show this is the first time in the history of this bit we've had 0 crossovers in our respective lists.
Told you it was a really wide, broad, crazy range to go from today.
We went about this very differently.
Okay.
There is not one single crossover.
All right, let's have it.
Okay. On my list of the top 10 Packers, honorable mention to the Chicago Packer newsletter. The Chicago Packer ran from 1899 to 1910, a weekly newspaper that catered to the interest of commercial growers, produce handlers, and poultry farmers. And it was based out of Chicago, Illinois. There was an edition of the Kansas City Packer, but the Chicago Packer was a very influential version of that was published right here in Chicago. And big thanks, as always, to Wikipedia for some of the help on all this stuff. So that's the honorable mention. Number 10 is the Garwood Load Packer. Garwood Industries in Detroit, Michigan, built a truck that had a giant compactor on it, and the Garwood Load Packer was the first real garbage truck. It brought the automation of garbage collection in the United States to a bit of standardization because it was the garbage truck that everybody bought. Introduced in 1938, what you now see as a garbage truck was originally something called the Garwood Load Packer. So that's number 10.
So garbage truck, that's cool.
Yeah. Number 9, Culti Packer. What is a Culti Packer, you ask? Well, it's a piece
Dan,
of...
what is a Culti Packer?
Thank you, Maddie. I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
It's a piece of farm equipment. And a Culti Packer crushes dirt clods, removes air pockets, and presses down small stones, forming a smooth, firm seed bed. And where seed has been broadcast, the roller gently firms the soil around the seeds, ensuring shallow seed placement and good seed-to-soil contact.
Did you say where the seed has been broadcast?
Yes, as in strewn, broadcast over a wide area. They cast them broadly.
Yeah,
and that is what
Yep.
that is what a Culti Packer does. And a Culti Packer is number 9 on the list of top 10 Packers. Number 8 is website The Packer. It is an extant, ongoing newspaper and website that now covers the fresh produce industry. It is read by retail and food service buyers of fresh produce. You want to know what's going on? You get yourself a crisp copy of The Packer, and you have it with your morning coffee so you know what's going on in the world of fresh produce. It covers fruit and vegetable production and distribution throughout North America and fresh produce news relating to imported and exported products, information on nutrition, legislation, and distribution, and this has been ongoing since 1893. So that is the website, The Packer. Number 7, American film producer Will Packer. Who's Will Packer? Well,
Dan, who's Will Packer?
Will Packer has produced more than 30 feature films, big screen hit comedies such as Think Like a Man, Ride Along, The Wedding Ringer, Girls Trip, Night School, What Men Want. And he produced the 2022 Academy Awards Oscars ceremony. And the reason why he's significant on this list, he in 2024 became a limited partner of the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. He is a Falcons owner. He is Will Packer. Number 6 on the list, actor David Packer. David Packer was born in Passaic, New Jersey. And his first starring role, and the reason why I included him on this list, his first starring role was as the human collaborator in the 1983 NBC miniseries V. And he reprised this role in the 1984 sequel V, The Final Battle. Do you know what this character's name was?
In V?
In the NBC miniseries V, which I believe also starred Robert Englund, who later achieved fame as playing Freddy Krueger.
You are correct. He is in that film. Yeah, I just looked up. You can share with the audience as they wait with bated breath to find out what was this character's name. In
David
V.
Packer played Daniel Bernstein.
Wow.
That sucks. That he had to play the human collaborator. David
Daniel
Packer
Bernstein.
starred as Daniel Bernstein.
Well, I had Michael Ironside also.
Of course it did. Plays the same. He's what's his name? Jester?
Yeah.
Isn't he Jester in Top Gun? Michael Ironside?
Is that his name, Jester?
I think so.
Okay, I think you're right.
I think I'm right. Oh, come on, you know all the Top Gun call signs. That's your job.
Yeah, I know.
Sundown and douchebag or
Go
whatever
down.
they call him. Go down. Number 5. You're waiting for this name. And of course, no list of the top 10 Packers of all time would be complete without Billy Packer. Billy Packer, who lived from 1940 to 2023, American college basketball player and sportscaster. And I always thought of him as the inverse of Dick Vitale. Dick Vitale, who can be sometimes an insufferable broadcaster, but is an absolutely wonderful guy. Billy Packer, I thought he was a terrific broadcaster and just a complete asshole. So that's sort of where he was. And that was the great thing about college basketball broadcasting. That at one point you had these polar opposites on however you want to graph it, wherever you want to do the plot chart on these axes of good broadcaster, good guy, bad broadcaster, bad guy. They could not have been at further apart on the spectrum. Billy Packer is number 5. Number 4. The NBA's Chicago Packers. And you say, what? Well, they still exist. The NBA's Chicago Packers are the current Washington Wizards. The Wizards began playing as the Chicago Packers in 1961. They were the NBA's first expansion team, an expansion prompted by Abe Saperstein's American Basketball League. And the star, the great Walt Bellamy, as a rookie, was the best player on the Chicago Packers. He averaged 31 points and 19 rebounds a game. And he represented the team at the All-Star game. He had 23 points and 17 rebounds in the All-Star game. And he was Rookie of the Year for the Chicago Packers in 1961. It was a name that was a reference to Chicago's meatpacking industry. They played in the International Amphitheater next door to the Union Stockyards. The name was unpopular since it was the same name used by the Green Bay Packers, the bitter rivals of the Bears. After 1 year, they changed their name to the Chicago Zephyrs, and they moved their home games to the Chicago Coliseum.
Okay, I didn't know that the Zephyrs were the Packers the first year.
The Zephyrs, yes, they became the Zephyrs, and then the Zephyrs moved to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Bullets, which became the Washington Bullets, which became the Washington Wizards. So that's number 4, the Chicago Packers. Number 3, and newsworthy at the moment, the R&B group American Soul, the Packers. They were formed by tenor sax player Charles Packy Axton, who was the son of Stax Records part owner Estelle Axton. Axton was a former member of the Marquis, as was the recently deceased Steve Cropper. Steve Cropper, the all-time great guitarist who just died a couple of days ago, played on the Packers' first recording and hit. Cropper, of course, member of Booker T and the MGs, the Stax Records session band, and I'm sure that since he was passing, you read everything about Steve Cropper and just how influential he was, how important he was. You may know him as a member of the Blues Brothers, etc. But R&B group, the Packers, number 3. Number 2, and I spent half an hour yesterday reading the Wikipedia article that is part of his story. Alfred Packer, the Colorado Cannibal. If you have the time, and if you're looking just for something to do for no good reason, just read about Alfred Packer and his story about the Colorado Cannibal. Because if you enjoyed the movie or the book The Revenant, you're going to find this story fascinating. And just by the time you read the full story of the Colorado Cannibal, who was eventually tried and convicted of premeditated murder and sentenced to death, and then he won a retrial and was eventually sentenced to 40 years in prison on 5 counts of voluntary manslaughter, and he's one of 4 people historically convicted for cannibalism in the United States. The story is not to be believed. And my conclusion is similar to that of Norm Macdonald when he tells the story about another famous criminal. He was a real jerk.
It's a great mustache, though.
Alfred Packer. He was a real jerk.
It's a good mustache, though, if you take a look at that picture.
And, oh, yeah, that looks like Lanny McDonald there. You want my number 1? You really want to know what the number 1 Packer of all time is?
Yep.
The number 1 Packer of all time is an object used for packing, sometimes known as a packer. What is packing? Packing is wearing padding or a phallic object in the front of the pants or underwear to give the appearance of having a penis or a bulge. The object used for packing, sometimes called a packer, may take the form of only a penis shape, or it may also incorporate a false scrotum and false testicles. Packers may be used to make male clothing hang and move correctly. If a packer is not used, the shape of the clothing is sometimes visibly empty. And there's more, because I know you want more, don't you? Mm-hmm. And there are pictures here of a soft silicone packer, which is actually kind of adorable. The phrase soft packing refers to packing with a device that cannot be used for sexual penetration. Homemade packers may be very low-tech and consist of rolled-up socks or condoms filled with liquids or gel, or, in the case of Spinal Tap bassist Derek Smalls, it could be a cucumber covered in aluminum foil that perhaps gets picked up by the wand at TSA. Or we were watching Sean Hockley last night. I was wondering where his was, because it looked like old Daddy Ed would bring something out for the games with him. The materials used in the manufacturing process include gelatin, latex, and silicone. There are many commercially available packers, which more realistically emulate the size, shape, color, and texture of the male genital. The term packer most frequently describes soft models not used for sexual activity. Hard packing refers to a device that may be used for sexual penetration. So this is critical. There is this distinction. A colloquial expression for the usage of these is pack and play. So the number 1 packer on my list is the artificial packing phallus, the packer.
Yeah, also Grandma's number 1.
Well, that's different because those are green. Grandma's got the big bag of green ones that she'll just occasionally start whipping at you, throw on the floor because of her crypto scam that she's doing. But I particularly enjoyed this one because we had very, very different lists. And we're going to have to do something again for the second meeting of these teams. And we were already exchanging ideas last night that can go in all kinds of different directions.
Yep, and then next week we'll have for the Cleveland Browns week the top 10 Browns of all time. So that'll be an interesting one as well too. So that wraps up the top 10 Packers of all time.
If that didn't set you up for your weekend, I don't know what does.
Again,
really.
we do this for you so that you can bring information to your friend's house, or when you have company over to watch the game, you can share the lists of top 10 Packers of all time. If,
Kids,
during commercial breaks.
come on over.
Yeah, halftime, you want to regale the group with a story of Alfred Packer or Grandma's dildos or, packing tape or fanny packs, whatever you want to do. It's all there
you
for
go.
you.
We bring it to you.
That's another episode of Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to DBU as well as Forward Progress and Organizations Win Championships. And don't forget, if you haven't heard us talk about it yet, the new 312 Sports app is out and available. You can get it at the Apple App Store as well as Google Play. It's there for you right now, up and active. And I believe there is a contest on there that's ongoing right now. So go check it out. You can send audio messages as well.
3D House of App.
I actually just had another audio message come through from the guy who said he's going to abuse the audio message opportunity. So he's living up to it, and we appreciate that. We'll talk to you soon here on Forward Progress, and have a great weekend.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
You said